So I followed Genesis. They came and played the Forum, for the first time, the Forum in San Diego. And then I stayed here. I stayed in Los Angeles until the end of the year because it was 18 months since I left London.
Right.
Because I wanted to feel culture shock.
Yeah.
If you stay in California, I love California.
Yeah.
I had a cabin up in Big Bear,
Yeah.
and you can go to Yosemite Valley like a fucking cathedral,
Yeah.
And so going back to Europe, I sent a letter to Tony Smith, said, I would like to write a Genesis book. Because in Italy, they were huge.
Yes.
If here they were a myth, in Italy, they were already a legend,
right.
Especially now that Peter left,
Right.
And, but then when someone dies, you become a legend,
Of course.
And so I decided to write this book for Italy. I never studied English. I studied French, in the school. So never have thought in my father's...
Never planned on writing a book.
Never planned to write it in English, but
of course.
I did a bunch of interviews. Then I came to LA. I came back, to London. Went back to London, and Tony Banks and Mike Rutherford to go out for lunch with me. Mm-hmm. And I told them the idea to do the book, And Tony said, so how do you want to start? Oh, let's start with you, man. And that was great because he was, in fact, Genesis, Tony Banks.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
And so when the same afternoon, I went to his house and I came out with 3 or 4 hours of interview,
Wow.
tape.
Yeah.
And so when I transcribed the tapes, I realized that I could tell the story. They would be telling the story.
Right.
I thought I was only the guy that would join these pieces,
Yeah.
So I had to be like a judge because I had 4 or 5 different stories sometimes,
Right.
From 4 different people.
To add it and put it together.
And what's the real story here? So it was exciting because personally I went to Manhattan Beach where I spent the summer before, and down 7th Street. I used to sit there and the horizon,
Yeah.
the sand, the horizon, and all these waves coming in. And I'll smoke a joint, and then I still have that book. When you saw the app, you see there were all these notes.
Yes. Oh, there was your personal notes, right?
From the book. And I created, there were 5, it was like a movie. I started doing Hollywood here,
Yeah.
So it was like
a script.
A script with 5
perspectives.
5 protagonists, and then the manager, the friends, they were all co-starring. No, I wrote it actually like that,
Yeah.
And then I would go home. And my wife was English when I got married in 72, same year that Peter got married,
Yeah.
And in Notting Hill we were living, and 2 blocks away from Island Records. Can you believe their recording studio? Portobello Road, and so there were so many things that were connecting us, Mm-hmm. I had a call from Tony Smith, said, we play in Paris, we're doing a live album, why don't you come over? And because there's this English publisher, they say they're interested in a book of Genesis, and I told him that you are doing it. So I went with him, I had all this pile of transcript because I wanted to give it to the guys in the band to see if everything was okay.
Right.
Nobody changed anything, man.
Oh, that's great.
It was really beautiful. And so when I went to the publisher, they thought I already had the book, so they gave me the contract in June, and I had to deliver the manuscript by the end of September. And so I ended up doing the book in English.
Yeah.
Published by an English publisher, a very stern English publisher. So, in fact, the Italian version was translated by another good friend who was a big Genesis fan.
Yeah.
Because when I started writing in Italian, I had all the pieces that were left out,
Yeah.
And so I did translate it. Can you believe that? But anyway, that's when to do that book, I came here after 18 months. I was in America, and I went back, and I was on tour with them all the month of January.
Wow.
In England.
And you were telling me earlier the cover photo, you said because their lighting system made you think of Star Wars. It looked like a ship landing.
Yeah. In fact, when this is January, Wind and Watering tour, right?
Right.
And it was great. Musically, they were fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
That's incredible.
Chester Thompson just joined them.
Right. So after Bill left, then
Chester Thompson joined, and Chester Thompson was amazing.
Yeah.
And Phil was in heaven with him,
Yeah, because Chester had come from Frank Zappa's band, right?
Yeah, they complemented each other, with Phil. Bill Bruford was like doing his own thing,
Right.
He didn't want to stay within Genesis,
right.
And so when Chester came, Chester was so good, and so enhancing the sound, and plus he had this. Today's that would be great for they're the black guy in the band,
right.
So they were perfect,
Right, expanded their audience
matter,
Yeah.
Jeez, I just thought about this, and it was good because we became very good friend with Chester, We exchanged a message yesterday, and in fact he was living in the valley. I was at his wedding, and. I was in this wedding. I found a picture that Chester Thompson, George Duke, Alfonso Johnson.
Oh my gosh!
And Caleb. He was the guitarist of Elton John in the 1970s, something like that. And that's what a great band.
Yeah, right there, right?
Yeah, and so I did all these interviews.
Right.
At the time, and then I came back here, and I did other things and stuff like that, and then when I got called back to do the tour in June, not just Paris but all the other places.
This is still Wind and Wuthering, right?
Yeah, I remember Steve Hackett said, "I don't know if I want to talk about Genesis because you could feel there was this."
Right.
I have a photograph in the book. We are in Paris, and the three of them are walking.
Yeah,
and you see Steve Hackett in the back, with Gail and
all the signs are there,
and every picture tells a story, right?
Yeah.
And yesterday I found some pictures in Dallas, and the three of them are sitting on the curb of the street, and he's in the back crouching.
Yeah, yeah. It was time for him to move on.
Yeah. He felt like probably he couldn't do whatever he wanted to do, because there were two lead instrument, the keyboard and the guitar.
A lot of songwriters in one band.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to this recording of this mixing of the Lamplight Zone on Broadway, because there was a lot of music there.
Yeah.
And I think that Steve Hackett's playing could be a little bit higher,
Yeah.
And probably Tony understood, then Tony, you're okay. You don't have to be up front, come on. In fact, of Seconds Out, there's a version of Seconds Out in vinyl, 180 grams.
Yes.
That Steve Hackett's guitar comes through really
better
strong.
mix. Yeah. He went on to do so much other music by himself.
Yeah.
And very prolific. From the Genesis book to the Peter Gabriel book, how did you decide to document that next?
Well, at the time when I did the Genesis book, I started working for a top Italian magazine. I was my career was coming up, and my mom was really worried for me because I was writing for this kids magazine, rock and roll magazine, right? I said, you got your diploma, to work, right? But so I started working for a magazine in Italy that my mom had been buying forever.
Yeah.
And it was the top Italian magazine and was getting 2.5 million copies a week,
Wow.
And they didn't have anybody in Los Angeles, So one of the first things I did, I interviewed this young director that did this film called Jaws. And I got him to pose with the magazine, so my mom could see,
You got to interview Steven Spielberg, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I did John Wayne as well. And
oh my gosh.
And Harry Fonda, Gregory Peck, So, but then I joined also the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, and we had the studio were using using us really to promote their stuff for around the world, you know. Once the social media came up and everything, Zoom and things came out, you know, they throw us in the trash, you know. That's what happened. You know. And anyway, I was a voting member of the Golden Globe since 1979. So I followed Genesis on the Wind and Watering tour, and after that, and then there were three. They had the amazing show with the mirrors. And in the meantime, I couldn't find a publisher in America to do the book.
For the Genesis book? Or okay.
Because the way the Genesis book came out in England, I didn't like it. Everybody loved it, but I didn't, because, you know, what was in my mind, you know, was... I
had read in an interview that they moved a lot of stuff around. You didn't like the layout.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there's Chester Thompson's at the beginning of when, 10 years before coming into the band, you know, just, when I got here, you know, and the publisher wanted to do it, but without any color pictures. And Peter Gabriel came up with this song, if you want to keep it under control, keep it small, do it yourself, DIY, you know. It's like, God. So I went to England in the summer of 79, and I did more interviews and stuff, you know, and I took pictures of the band. The day they were getting together to record Duke.
Wow.
I left, and this was October. On January 24, my birthday, I went to London with the proofs of the book. Okay, with 3 different covers, so they could choose the cover, they could choose the paper, you know. And Phil gave me a joint. He set me on the producer's chair in the recording studio, and we heard Duke for the first time. It just they just cut, and Mike and Tony left. Okay, they did the cutting, and they said, okay, thank you very much. Nobody call me for the next 3 weeks, you know, blah, blah. And there was producer, what's his name?
David Henschel.
Yeah. David Henschel and Phil. And Phil gave me this joint, and they set me in the producer's chair, lit up, and I heard, it was like a present for my birthday again, you know?
What a gift.
Yeah. And it was, I said, fuck, the book is going to sell it so much, you know?
Yeah.
So Duke started, I went on tour with Duke.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was around 1980, right?
Yeah, May 1980. And that's when I had to prepare radio interviews, local papers, you know, and I was promoting the book because, you know, I didn't have distribution.
Yeah.
Okay. I found out to have distribution, you must be a publisher with 12 titles.
Yeah.
So anyway, what I did for that was just incredible. You know, like going to Tower Records and dropping a box of 20 books, you know.
Yeah.
But we don't sell books here. Put it in the Genesis bin, you know.
It'll sell.
And I gave them 25% in consignment, right? Until I did it for a year, you know. I was making, you know, there's a big profit, you know. And until Tower Records in Sacramento, so who are these? Everybody down here, where the Tower Records down here, there was one in Westwood as well.
Right.
In fact, the guy. There was this kid in Westwood. He did the window display of Duke.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I called him up from Chicago, you know, to come and give me a hand, you know, because the people that were selling T-shirts were selling the book as well, you know, but they wanted to sell the T-shirts. Sometimes they wouldn't even put the book up, you know. And so I asked Phil, you know, said, can I get this? Armando, you can do anything you want. So I called this guy up and he said, how much do they pay you that? Well, they give me £100 a week to do this. £100 a week. You can I give you £100 a night, mate. Come over, get on a plane and bring the Duke, you know?
Yeah.
And Dan Jones. And it was fantastic. You know, we were selling 50, 100,
and by that
books.
Point, they had a lot of hit songs.
So they were playing big stadiums, you know, we sold 200 books that night in Chicago. It was a big place, you know. And so there was a layout, you know, well, get your book signed here. And there was Duke, you know, and there was me sitting here. They were selling the book, you know. And I would just sign the book, shake hand, sign the book, shake hand. By the end, I was all electrified,
Yeah.
It was something you never go through that, nobody gets around to, and that his hands is shaking with admiration. That's what you get,
Very
Sometimes
personal.
people really lose it, And I remember in my little success, I could understand what happens to a rock star or movie stars once they get it, because you have those incredible admiration. People shake your hands, and in my case, I had it all within half an hour, with just 30, 40, 50 people,
Yes.
And the girls, oh my God, they were beautiful. Genesis didn't have any groupies. We used to get them all, me and Dan. They all had their wives with him, Anyway, instead, at the end of the due, I went to see Peter Gabriel in Central Park. He had his head shaved. Third album.
The Melt one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third album. And he came over here. He did the Roxy. First time, second time too. And I have a picture. In September 1978 or 79, he was playing the Roxy. Mm-hmm. And at the time, there was no Ticketmaster or anything like that.
Right.
You had to go
to the venue
at 10 o'clock. So people were getting in line, maybe even the night before.
Yeah. And the Roxy's not that big. What was it, 500
not that
people
big,
maybe?
but it's coming in to play 3 nights, 6 concerts, okay?
Right.
So I went to the place, to the building across the street, and I took a picture of the line going back to the car park in the back, then going up on the hill, and I gave that picture to the Grammy when they celebrated 50 years of the Roxy. Yeah. And then when, after Milton Keynes, I went to Paris with Genesis, they were playing 3 concerts, Mm-hmm. Halfway through the 3rd concert, I said, what am I doing here, right? Somehow now I think, why did I leave them? I could have, but I just, they didn't mean anything to me anymore,
I think I read an interview with you and you said for you, it was about following the journey of like, how does somebody come from obscurity to become a rock star? And you wanted to see the journey, but these guys had reached pop status now. So that whole adventure was a different thing.
Yeah. And they started doing the lights, and I thought, am I photographing the lights here? Or, Peter was beautiful. I had met 3 days before Milton Keynes, I had met Kate Bush in Italy.
Wow.
Oh.
All my students know her from Stranger Things.
God. Well, can you imagine? She's coming to it to do a television show.
Yeah.
And to sing the Dreaming.
Yeah.
The single from the album, people used to come to, there was this television festival, 3 or 4 days, all the record company, what happened in September, they would get all the artists to come over and do their single in playback.
Right.
So she comes in with 2 dancers, and they dressed up like Aborigines.
Oh, right.
Okay?
Right.
And she's doing the Dreaming.
Right.
And she had this kind of space suit, like she landed in and so she's coming to do that, and she's not doing any interview. My friend at EMI tells me, oh shit, come on. And she's coming down, and he goes, hi, my name is Armando Gallo. Armando, he said, I know. And I love the picture you took of Peter with the star in his eye. This is a picture I had on the Genesis book,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
I thought, oh my gosh, she knows my work.
She knows your work.
Can I do an interview about the new album, track by track? Yes. Sure.
Oh, wow.
Sure. But we have to go for rehearsal now.
Yeah.
I said, can I come? Sure, please come. And then when we come back, we go to my room and we do the interview there. So I went to the rehearsal, took pictures, they were doing rehearsal stuff, and she had this T-shirt called "I'm a Diva," and you. and
at that point, she had done the 2 songs with Peter, right? She'd done No Self Control.
I didn't know. That escaped me. In fact, I told her, you should you should do something with Peter Gabriel, man, because, the Dreaming and number 4 of Peter Gabriel, they were using the Fairlight.
Right.
They were
There
doing
was
the same thing. They were experimenting. They were exploring.
Right. Using samples.
So, my God, there are 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
But she didn't tell me anything. Like, oh, yes, I did it. Oh, yes, I know. Nothing. But when we went back to the hotel, we went to her room, and she lay across the bed, and she goes... So she's laid across like this, I lay across like that, and we are face against face, and the tape recorder in the middle.
Oh.
Running track by track, man. I mean, I fell in love with her. Of course I fell in love. Who wouldn't?
Right.
And so I'm on getting to the last track. There was a song that went, the first time I died, it was in the hands of a good friend of mine. Something like that. Uh-huh. And I said, what about death? Oh, yes, when you have an emotional death. I just got divorced,
Right.
And I told her that. And she was so sympathetic. I had this beautiful face in front of me,
Yeah.
And the bottom lip it was like...
She was really affected by it.
Oh, man, and I thought, should I kiss her? And then comes the 2 men, hey, Kate, we're late for the photo shoot. But I followed up, so I took pictures of her.
I've got to see
the
those.
makeup guy is here, we had later.
Yeah.
So I showed pictures of her while they put the makeup on. The same makeup that she had on the cover of The Dreaming.
Yeah. Oh,
There's a picture downstairs.
Yeah, I've got to see that.
So I was in another dimension there. Genesis didn't mean anything to me, And Peter Gabriel's coming out with Intruder and all that, God. And then he comes in with the Rhythm of the Heat.
Right.
And San Jacinto.
Yeah.
San Jacinto, man.
So magical.
Yeah. But that comes, he used to love to go places in the day off,
Right.
And I told him, listen, I can't come, but there's a place in Desert or Spring. It's called Two Bunch Palm. Man, it's great. So he got there, but then he saw San Jacinto, and he went up San Jacinto Mountain, and there's it's like going back in time there. That's when he wrote San Jacinto.
Wow.
I got a fine for speeding San Jacinto. I sent him a fax with it, Oh, man.
And so some of this led you to make a book about him.
In that tour, I got divorced that year. He got separated from his wife,
Right.
And we were in the same boat,
Yeah.
And remember, I was playing Bob Marley there, and they said, well, Bob Marley is right, no woman, no cry. We are okay, but when he told me that, motherfucker, you're gonna be so lucky, and at least you have 10,000 people every night loving you,
Right.
I'm stuck at the same house, because when we broke up, she left,
Right.
and I was stuck in the house. Big mistake, because God, all memories,
Yeah.
So late at night, we would do some interviews just for the fans.
Yeah.
So this interview is not going to go to any paper. I said it's going to go in a book, because actually I gave him a bunch of pictures. We were on the plane between Calgary and Vancouver. He just did a concert with David Bowie.
That's where that photo you took of both of them, right? When Peter has the makeup and Bowie has the bright yellow hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bowie didn't let me take that picture. I hated him after. Wait a minute, come on, man. There's a tape recorder. I got all these cameras here. I told you that I saw Ziggy Stardust. I couldn't believe it. When there's a Peter Gabriel's coming through, all this incredible makeup, He's ready to go on stage, and he's the last. So the recipient. That's the Telegato there. And he's the last recipient of the Telegato Award, because Peter gives the boys there, can you Telegato, and so, my photographer will do it. Dennis Origa. Dennis Origa paid $10,000 apparently to go on that tour, because they were sharing. They would be sharing 50-50 the money that the photography would make, something like that. And I lost interest in David Bowie.
Yeah. And that's the point in the 80s where he did a lot of very normal poppy stuff at that point.
Yeah. But anyway, on the plane from Calgary to Vancouver, I gave him all these pictures. He said, put them behind, So he saw all his, from the very first two pictures of Genesis, to all the pictures until now of him, And so as we were landing, I said, would you like to see me in a book? So, that's interesting. He goes, so that's how it started.
Okay.
And then
conversation,
we started doing this special interview to go for this book,
Right.
And the book, as you remember, there's an introduction by Dan Jones. No, Dan Jones did the introduction from one fan to another. And said, this book is not a biography.
Yeah.
The Peter Gabriel's book.
Right.
I'm like,
I've never seen the hardcover. Wow.
Yeah, look at that, man. So you have this book, you said to me.
I have the paperback. I've never seen the hardcover.
In Italy, I did the hardcover.
Is that one all in Italian? Is that one all in Italian?
Yeah. And
were you just talking about the foreword in the book?
Yeah. Introduction, because I said this is not a biography, blah, blah, blah. Because from all this conversation, I picked up stuff, what he thought about videos, what he thought about politics, what he thought about this, that, and the other. If you notice, they are just pieces of text spread around photographs.
Yeah.
It's another way to...
It sounds like it was more of a conversation between you guys.
Yeah.
Kind of like you're peering in the window.
Yeah. In fact, there's... his mom sent me a beautiful letter. So the best thing...
Really?
That I've ever seen about, and maybe this letter will pop up, but I work in this crazy confusion,
Your vault here, yeah.
And and the book came up kind of. I had a publishing company in Italy with my brother, and after 40 books, stuff a bit kind of fell apart,
Yeah.
Because he wanted me to run a photo agency. And in the end, I had this book that I've been 83. 84, 85, 86, 4 years, right? And there was no way that the company would get that because Peter Gabriel didn't say yes. Once he said yes, I already broke up with my brother, So I published in Italy. I didn't publish it in Italy. I got a review in the top Italian newspaper. Armando talks well about me, this incredible character, but now he did something really big. It's coming out with a Peter Gabriel's book, and he's not publishing it. You have to write to his parents' address to get. And I did 3,000 copies. They all signed and numbered,
Very DIY.
Yeah.
And so the book finally came out in 86, right? I think that's when I bought it.
86 in October 86. But I did it for Omnibus Press in England.
Right.
And the book didn't have a good life because I was printing the book in Italy.
Yeah.
To have control,
Right.
They gave me £20,000, to print, to do 10,000 copies, It was really mean because they couldn't even do a hardback. They didn't want the hardback,
Yeah.
It should have been, wasn't 96 pages. It should have been in hardback.
Let's go into all your stuff that's available now. So I Know What I Like and Peter Gabriel. Can you still get those? Are they on Amazon? No, they're out of print?
No, yeah.
So maybe eBay, there might be a couple.
Yeah. In fact, I bought one in eBay to give to Andrew Stanton of Pixar.
I didn't know until today or earlier this week about the app. So had you transferred not only Genesis, but Peter Gabriel to app versions?
Yeah, I put a lot of The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway in the Genesis book, it had only 2 pages in color.
Right.
There are 3 photographs. Because I knew then that I was going to do The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway was more a Peter thing than a Genesis thing.
Yes.
So when I did the Peter Gabriel's book, there's quite a lot of The Lamb.
Right. So let me just get this straight. You did the app that you just showed me that's incredible, but not available now, right? About Genesis. Mm-hmm. And it was so interactive with the music. It was almost like watching a film.
Yeah. And
did that come out, 10 years ago?
2012.
2012, okay.
It's like an if you know the Genesis book, if you imagine imagine, a review said, imagine if you have a book on the side of your bed and you had that for a few years, all of a sudden it start animation.
It's like a Harry Potter thing, right? When they look at the photos that they're moving.
It start animating, and that's what it is. But it's only done for the app, for the iPad. Sorry,
right? Because
the iPad was just coming out. Just came out, and so everybody thought the iPad was going to be really. But it was, again, part of this technology. Something comes up, it lasts 2, 3, 4 years, and then there's something else coming up.
Right. Do you think it'll ever be available again? Because I just saw it today for the first time, and it absolutely blew my mind. I'm going to need to come over here and just look at it for 3 hours.
It's great to, in fact, I suggest to put some speakers on, because when you turn the pages, and there's some music coming up, which is a gift of a musician from around the world, that people from all over the world sending me bits and pieces of music, because there were musicians sometimes, there were just professional musicians.
Right.
But they were musicians because of Genesis.
Right.
So it was like giving back,
Yeah. And it was connected to social media. I saw the little Facebook thing, so people could add contributions.
Yes.
Wow.
And a lot. And then the people that paid for the Kickstarter, there were 220 people. And to those people, I gave them access to something special, which was an interview with Richard McPhail.
Oh, wow.
An interview with
I just finished his book.
Gail Coulson.
Oh, right. Peter's former manager, right?
There's something.
So the people that
extra.
helped raise the money got extra stuff.
Yeah.
And let me mention one more. Then
the leather bound sold for $1,500. There's a guy from New Zealand.
Yeah.
I was offering maybe $1,500 or $2,500, something like that. Andrew Stanton got one, and because I was offering that and the dinner, right? So he came down. Coming down, he was getting together with someone to do the voice of one of the fish, Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. He did this. He was the guy behind. He came over. She was doing the voice of Nemo,
Ellen DeGeneres?
Ellen DeGeneres,
Oh, okay.
And so he was coming in, he came over here, and was a dinner cooked by Armando Gallo, right? So, can I bring a couple of friends? So sure, the couple of friends were 2 Genesis fans. They were doing a film score.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. It was really beautiful. 12 o'clock was midnight, and we're still talking about. I did some videos of that too, know.
My next question was, you also did something similar for the anniversary of So.
Yeah.
You also showed me downstairs.
Yeah.
How did people get that before? Was that also an app?
Yeah. It's an app in the iPad.
Okay. And what are the chances that your physical books or these apps will come back so people can check them out?
They should be able to come out because, technology gets better and better and better and just ridiculous, So what we did 15 years ago, I'm sure can be translated into with new software. The fact we did it with the software that was existing in 12.12.
It still looks brand new. It looks like you did it yesterday.
Yeah, because it was really avant-garde, at the time, and we sustained all the passages of the increase of software until maybe 2 years ago, I think, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, probably, you couldn't download it anymore,
Yeah.
How come I can't, I'm in England, how come I can't download it,
I was trying yesterday.
Yeah.
But your hope is to eventually re-release
I
these.
talked to the guy that did the software. He came over to do something with, he's in Barcelona, and he's a cousin of the people that did the software from Argentina.
Yes.
Okay. I got a call once, I got an email, so we are doing an app for children's books,
Wow.
And we are big Genesis fans, we could do with your book.
Yeah.
If you're interested.
Yeah.
So, great. So I replied straight away. And we became friends, and they did that, and while they were waiting for what they were waiting for, there was a moment when probably I had to wait for the rights to play the music in the app, or maybe deciding if to go No, we were there, and the 25th anniversary was happening.
Right.
And they were using my pictures.
Yeah.
I was making money with them, and they would give me all this stuff for free.
Right.
For free, but they would give me all the so we could transfer this into an app of so.
Right.
And I said to the guys, man, do it for free. You know, I got paid. You know,
Yeah.
But you can do if you want to promote your Zendrick was the name of the,
yes.
You know, do it so you can have a foot inside the door of the world, you know. And so they did it very quickly, you know, and it came quite well, you know.
Yeah.
And that's when I went to Tony Smith, and Tony Smith saw the finished product, and he goes, "Can we buy the software?" I said, "Man, you know, the fans bought the software, you know."
Yeah.
220 people. Oh, are they gonna get this for free? Of course they're gonna get this for free. They're gonna be a
Yeah.
But then he married someone that she had a son who was doing a GoFound.
Yes.
You know, so why didn't you tell me? Well, I didn't know your stepson was doing GoFound. You know.
Yeah, who would know?
And you know, if you would have accepted the project, you know, probably he would have been the one to do it. You know.
Well, let's talk about some things that people can see. The Genesis 50th anniversary box set is coming out in June.
Yeah.
And did you tell me 35 photos in there?
Yes, I can show it to you.
Yeah, and people can pre-order that.
I got there's going to be a photograph, 12 inches, 12 inches, 12 inches, right? They're going to probably three LPs.
Oh, okay. So it's going to open
and
up
you can put it, standing there, you have the band playing, and you can hear it.
Yeah, experience like the old days.
The photograph is just the band.
Yeah.
Without the screens.
Oh, okay.
So I said, if people have this photograph, can you imagine if they see it big on a wall with the screens as well? That's what I had idea. It has to be an exhibition, you know?
Yeah.
Because I never thought to have an exhibition because I always found it very masturbating kind of thing. You know, to have your pictures on a wall for people to see, and because you have to pay to put your picture on a wall for people to see. That, you know.
Yeah.
The box set was supposed to be done by
March.
No, was supposed to be done 2 years ago.
Really? 2 years ago?
Or at least I sold 25 pictures. To Universal because they were getting ready to do because they said we have to work it now because it takes 12 months to get the vinyl, you know.
And they want it done by the anniversary. Yeah.
But then Concord bought, so they somehow they bought that, you know.
Everything changed hands.
And everything changed. So the design from Universal went straight to Peter.
Right.
Because at that point there was something going on between Concord and Peter, you know.
Right.
And so the designer of Peter Gabriel, Mark Besson, is a great guy I've been knowing. Is the guy that they were doing the vinyl of Athens.
Oh, the live Athens.
And there's these pictures of Peter.
Yeah.
Kind of.
The blurry ones? Yeah.
I love those pictures.
Me too.
Really love those pictures.
Looks like a painting.
Yeah, and it shows you, oh my God, you know, you have the same taste, you know, and...
So you're showing me the fold-out?
Yeah. I got the entire book, actually, yeah. Let me see. The book, photos like this, you know. Look at that.
Wow.
I have to find it. You can see what I was explaining to you.
Oh, right. So that's how it'll open up?
Yeah.
God, that's beautiful.
This is 1, 2, and 3, you know, and this is the front cover, this is the back cover, whatever, you know, there's a vinyl going inside here, you know. So you have Steve and Mike, you have Peter and Phil, and you have all these things to say which photograph is of who, you know.
Oh, it's like a little map. Yeah.
And
there's the makeup with Rail. Wow. For somebody like me, this is so exciting to see these images we've never seen before. What was it like when The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, they were doing it live and nobody had heard the album?
Yeah, what happened, you know, they were supposed to play 2 weeks in England.
Yeah.
And then come to America. And Steve Hackett, he was at a party.
Yeah.
And someone said, the Alex Harvey band will be nothing without Alex.
Yeah.
And he just he crashed it.
Oh, no.
Because the film was like saying, Peter Gabriel the band without Peter Gabriel would be nothing, you know?
Right.
And he cut attendance. Yeah.
Oh, no.
For a guitarist, can you believe that? So they had to move everything 1 month. But at that time, they thought, great, so we can work on the mixing.
Yeah.
You know? So when the album was late in coming out, so they started the American tour
that's why.
Because they came to America and the album wasn't ready yet.
What was the reaction of people hearing a double album of music that they'd never heard before?
But, the idiots must have said, fuck this, what the hell? Well, supper's ready, but to me, if you go and see a concert that you never seen, it's like being, especially something like that, it's like a theatrical performance, right?
Yeah.
Hello?
It's like going to see a musical you've never seen. Yeah, it's just a good surprise.
Oh, at the top.
Wow.
I got it.
Oh, my gosh.
Gonna be in black and white, I think. So.
I love that photo. Oh, my God. If I could go back in time.
Because he was a punk before punk movement, Ray was supposed to be a punk.
Right.
And Peter wanted to do something, he wanted to move forward,
Leaving the fantasy and going into modern life, right?
This is during the Lamb.
Oh, that's right. He played flute back then. I forgot.
Yeah, this is an oboe.
I'm sorry?
An oboe.
Oh, oboe. Yeah. Did he play that live?
I can't remember now, but probably did. He did in the dressing room at the shrine, just fucking around. Well, you want to see a picture from there? You go. Come here. I'll
did his own makeup, huh?
Yeah.
Will these photos be in the box set, or are these just extras?
Oh, there's gonna be 5 in the box set. Wow. 5 of this.
It's like looking into a dream. All right, so Armando, coming up, we have the Land Lies Down box sets coming out in June, and you do hope to do an exhibition of photos having to do with the Lamb. Is that correct?
Yes, because I think that these photographs that you will see there was going to be a booklet as well in the box set, a 60 pages booklet. Yeah. When you put a record into a sleeve,
the slipcase.
The slipcase. Yeah, there's going to be pictures there.
Oh, wow.
And they are set up. The one picture is going to be open up like in front of you. There's going to be 36 inches wide. So it's like you see a theater, panorama of the stage, but you don't see the top, which there are the 3 screens. Yeah. So I said, what a surprise would be to have an exhibition of all these photographs in printed in full, so they're gonna explode in the and I see in a place to have all these photographs blown up, and play the album, and play and sell the box set there too. So I'm trying to convince these big guys, which they are Concord and Warner Music and Universal and Real World and Rhino. Yeah, Rhino. They're gonna do the distribution anyway. So
I'm sure you make it happen. So we're looking forward to that. I ordered the vinyl version because I want bigger. So for now, tell people how to find out what you're up to if the exhibition comes out and when. Is Facebook and Instagram the best way to see breaking news from you?
Probably, yeah, probably.
And your website?
Yeah.
Can you tell everybody what is your website? ArmandoGallo.com.
Yes, once you get there, because we are building it, and I need all the help I can get to get something out there. That, in a way, I'm at the stage that I stopped being a journalist a couple of years ago, probably, because. The restrictions they give you to do the journalism is just absurd. And plus, now every magazine around the world they need to speak of someone. They go on Google and they find out everything, and the kid that's writing it, gets 50 quid, whatever. It's becoming journalism went down the drain. Anyway, my life was full with great stories. So at the moment, I'm looking in the past with some concern because you don't want to get stuck in the past, but I find some good pictures, that I would like to sell as art prints because I would like to see them myself printed in great paper with archival ink and stuff like that, and there are some people that took them away from me here, from my walls, oh, can I have this one?
Yeah.
God. And, make them available to everybody,
Well, great. So people can follow you on Instagram, Facebook. The next thing will be the box set, right?
Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, Armando Gallo, thank you so much for talking to me today.
Okay.
I can't wait to come over the next time and ask you more stories.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I hope you enjoyed my podcast with world-renowned photographer Armando Gallo. I'd also greatly appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe to my podcast on whatever streaming service you use. If you have a paying subscription to Creativity is the Cure at buzzsprout.com, you will have access to several extra privileges and bonus content. Thanks for listening. Over, under, out.